G'day, hi, and welcome. Alright, I gotta show you something really horrible. Brace yourselves. Yep, it's snowing. Really wet, heavy stuff, too. I'm gonna be working in that the next 2 days. It's really gonna suck. But, yeah, that's damp. Oof. So I've got the fire going. Got the fire going now for a couple of weeks now. Let's keep that burning a little bit. Good bit of coals in there, so keep the damp out of the house. I'm going to show you what I got going on. Still got a bunch more wood to throw in. All the wood is cut. It's just I wanted it to air out a little bit more before I started throwing it in. Plus, we're getting an electric furnace put in beside, so I got to leave the room for the next little bit. So hopefully, all that snow doesn't get all covered in. Got all the batteries out of everything. Got more batteries up there. Got to start charging those up. And then I've got the old guy Vincent there. I've talked about him before. He always ends up giving me all kinds of magazines and stuff like that. Got woodworking magazines there. I got some more car magazines there. The Rolls Royce book there. This one looks pretty good. This one was really good. This is like a $45 book. But anyway, he has some old car magazine books. And I know it's kind of dark down here, and you can, from pretty much this time until spring, it's going to be dark all the time. But anyway, yeah, just give you an idea of some of the books. It looks like a really cool car. And, yeah, this time of year when I'm kind of stuck inside, 0 to 60, I'm going to do some reading. There's an awful pile of red cars on. I'll zoom out in a second there, but all the red cars. The cars are either red or yellow. Ain't that kind of strange how that worked out like that? Just look at something. That there's a magazine. It's kind of like a guy's For Men About Men. This is produced in Ottawa, and it's usually free. You usually got like some man cave ideas. Indy 500, that'd be cool. Some Mustangs, Corvettes, some Mercedes, some Porsches. 911. This I think is Acura. That's probably from the dealership. Corvettes, stuff like that. GT40. Cars Detroit never built. This one looks cool. I've already looked at this one. This one's cool. So I'm gonna go through this one next. These books are like, let's see. Anyway, I know on the back of this one is like $45 for that one. That's a nice 50 cars. Some really cool cars in there. So I'm not a huge car guy, but I like cars obviously, and I'm enough of a car guy. Just I can't afford any of these supercars like most people. These are just things that you look at and drool over. You don't really. Can't really afford any of them, but they're cool to look at. And I got some more other There's some hunting magazines and some gun magazines there too. So I got a bunch anyway. Yeah, just thought I'd show you my little magazine collection. I got rid of like a whole bunch of guitar magazines years ago. I had about 60 of them because I used to have a subscription, and I guess with the internet, nobody really gets subscription anymore. But I guess there's still a market for magazines. I mean, it's 2014, 2016. We're in 2018, so he's still getting them. So, I mean, I don't know what a magazine like this is worth nowadays by itself. See if we can find you a price tag somewhere. Usually there's a price tag on these things. I'll grab the 2016 one just to see what a typical price. They don't put prices on these things anymore. Or maybe, I guess they're all. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, these things are usually like $10, $15 now. They used to be like $4.99, for magazines and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, there we go. So I got some car magazines to go through, and yeah, I started doing some thinking. And when I do some thinking gets in, you know what I mean? About reviewing cars and stuff like that. what's the guy there? Not Everyday Cars or whatever, but I'm thinking like common man car stuff, So, I'll start with my friends and see what junky cars they have. Because I know there's a lot of people out there, okay, they're never going to be buying a Ford GT, or a, like a 57 Porsche or something like that. They're not going to be buying anything like that. They're going to be buying like junk buckets like I got. And it's good to review those cheap cars too, because everyday driver cars are more common, and there's always somebody looking for something on it. Like my little CRV, I'm a little bit behind in what I wanted to do so far, but I got the batteries out of it. Obviously, I don't have the battery out of my CRV because I still need it. But I, pulled the battery out of my brother's car, pulled it out of the tractor, pulled it out of the lawnmower. But my goal, for example, is to do a little bit of work on the CRV, and as I do it, just to show you guys what I'm going to do. But the next major thing, which I'm a little bit late because the snow's on the ground. I was hoping to do this before the snow got on the ground, but my goal was to get it oil sprayed. Do the oil spray myself, which I'm still going to do it, but it's just when the ground's wet, you don't want to do an oil spray when the ground's wet, because what happens is the oil just gets all kind of washed off. So better to do it than not, but the best time to do it is when it's dry. So I don't know if there's going to be too many more dry days between now and spring, but I don't want my CRV to rust anymore, so I'll be doing stuff like that. And maybe some of these magazines might give some rust tips and stuff like that, but a lot of times these magazines are just about the high horsepower supercars, stuff that common people just can't afford anymore, and things like that. But like sometimes like magazines like this will have some great ideas in them for man cave stuff, and especially if it pertains to your neck of the woods, the saunas and stuff like that. So this is not just a car magazine, but it's got a little bit of everything in it, and how to make beer and stuff like that. Guy stuff, fishing. Got some fishing stuff in here. So that's always cool stuff. But the Napa Auto Parts, you got those things. Talk some, car club stuff. Car club stuff. The guy I used to work with, these are more my kind of cars. I love 70s cars, I guess because I'm a product of the 70s anyway. So, but the kind of cars like I'm interested in, I've been looking at, again, I don't have the money for any sort of project cars, nor do I have the place where I could work on them. But like, for example, one of the guys I used to work with, he was in what they called the Mad Misfits Car Club, and they're huge. I don't know how many, maybe 6,000-7,000 members. They're just kind of one of those car enthusiast clubs. There's like a show every weekend. There's swap meets. There's this. There's that. That's the kind of stuff I want to get into fairly soon. But like I say, on a tight budget, it's hard to do that stuff. But he was telling me, this is back in 2008 or so, before 2008, before I moved back up home here. But he was telling me about like places in town that you can rent like a car bay for like $100 a month or something like that, whatever it is, to for guys that want to work on, restore their cars, old cars or whatever. They do that. So let's say you budget 10 months to work on a car, but you got to be able to work on that car. A lot of guys, what they do is they get these projects, they don't have a place to store them, so they start going there, and then it just becomes a storage, and then it's like, no, you're not storing it here, you're going to work on it here. So if you're not working on it enough, we're going to ask you to leave, and then well, here, you want to buy my car for half the price I bought it for? That's the stuff I'm looking for, real good deals. And if you know what you're looking at, a lot of times you can really you can make a profit doing these things. Obviously, there's people doing some pretty awesome stuff. I want to go back up, for example, to that Saint Amour Cars again and sweet talk the guy, see if I can get some exclusives on the 3 Camaros he has, especially that white RS. That one was really, really, really nice, and obviously not this time of year. I'll have to wait till spring if I could do it, but he does drive that thing. I don't think he drives it much, but he does drive the thing. But if I can get other cars that are just kind of cool or everyday cars to review, I'm going to start doing that too. I know a lot of people are doing it, but the way I do things, I tend to look at things from a point of view is not just here. Oh, here's the scratch on the windscreen. Oh, here's the the rust around the fenders and stuff like that. Oh, here's I'm going to do this next. I'm going to do that next to it. That's fun too, but I want to get more into the in-depth. This thing gets this many miles to the gallon. This thing handles like this. This is what it does when you push the car a little bit too much. This is some of the quirks and quirks. These are some of the recalls on it. Like really in-depth stuff like that. So it's like whenever I do review a car, I'll do like a short 5-minute review and then an hour-long review of the car, if I can. And I can start with my CRV. Obviously, I've had it for a little while now, and I probably, after I oil spray it, which I'll show you how I oil spray it. I mean, you can buy the stuff in cans, but I want to get the spray gun and do that too, because, there is a garage that does them, but what I was thinking of doing is saying, hey, well, how about this? I'll oil spray my vehicle for free, and in return, while you're, I'll oil spray like XYZ many customers' cars, and then do that on the side, maybe on a during the week or whatever, maybe 2 days a week or something like that. That'd be good, and then it'd be a little extra money for me. Do like 3 oil sprays and I get mine free, that type of thing. So he still, for what it would pay, he would pay me per the hour. That's probably what it's going to cost to do the oil spray for his cost. You know what I mean? So I'm going to see if I can work out deals like that. There's another classic car place, but again, I don't like to bug these guys unless they, unless they're willing. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, you guys got any cars projects right now that are finished up or just about finished that I can review, and then when you reveal it, let me know, and I'll come back and all that stuff, and we could review the car. So it might be a classic right now. I know there's a 66 Malibu being restored, which is really nice, but it's a long way from, it's still it's basically a shell getting redone there now. So like cars like that will be very special, but like everyday cars, you can review those in somebody's driveway. So that's the kind of stuff I want to get into. We'll see what happens. I've got basically 3 vehicles I could start with. Problem with my brother's car is I was going to do a bigger, I already taken it out for a drive, but in the 20 minutes, like the radiator was actually, I guess there's a leak in the radiator or whatever. I overheated the car on the way back. I got home anyway. I just pulled the battery out of it today, but that would have been a good first common man car to do. It was quite rough, but it's still a cool little car, and I'll probably still do a small review on it. Obviously not today because it's snowing out. And then some of the other little cars, like, my mom's van, stuff like that. I've already did a kind of a review of that, so it's like I didn't do a great review of it. And that one's parked and whatever. I could do my dad's truck. I'll do my CRV. And I'll just go, common vehicle. My brother's little Mazda 3, maybe I'll do that one, in a week or two. And, if I get the spray gun while I'm going to spray, oil spray it, maybe what I'll do is, take it out for a little boot and then, find out a little bit, do some research on it, and then you guys will get yourself a really good review on something. So if you are looking at buying some of these common man cars, while you're saving up for your supercar, at least if you get somebody who could tell you, okay, this is what it's like to live with this vehicle, and you get that from the owner anyway. They'll tell you everything. What are some of the things you hate about it? What are some of the things you love about it? And I could do it in like a point form, where probably maybe like 25 point. Okay, this is where it stacks up here. So it gives you a good idea when you're looking for these things. Okay, yeah, here's what gets recalled on them. Here's what, here's why you can get a BMW for like $500. That looks fine because, this is what it costs for parts, etc., etc. And stuff like that really helps a lot of people from making bad decisions too. So especially like, for example, I'm looking at like all kinds of BMWs and I'm like, okay, well, is the guy selling it and he doesn't know what he has, or is it, okay, yeah, no, it's everything runs perfect, but the ignition key just needs to be replaced. I'm sure it's cheap. Those things like to replace an ignition key on a BMW is like $600, $700, $800. You know what I mean? Like it's things like that if you don't know that, that's why those cars go. When you see them really cheap, sometimes it's just better to walk away from them. That's what it is. But sometimes it's like, okay, well, if I get it for $500 and drive it into the ground, it's still kind of cool anyway. You know what I mean? You'll get your money's worth out of it if you can get a year out of it. So there's things like that too. For example, like my CRV, And I'll just end on this. My little CRV needs newer. It's got winter tires on it, but it needs newer winter tires, and that's about $500 for the winter tires. But however, I paid $400 for the vehicle, so it's like, do I put $500 into it if I don't have to? $500 onto another vehicle that has tires that are, get you through the rest of the winter. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever's cheaper, but I do like that little CRV, and it's yeah, it's definitely worth putting a little bit of money into it. I mean, at some point you have to put a little bit of money other than just gas and topping up the oil into a vehicle. I get that, but the thing is we buy these vehicles that are not like these supercars where, a car like this, you're probably going to spend $2,000 just on tires. If you get the good stuff, you probably even more. If you get the cheapest stuff, you might, $1,500 to $1,000 just to put tires onto something like that. But you don't mind. Why? Because it's something like that, right? Whereas a daily beater, it's like, it's like, can I get the tires for $60, please? What? They're 110? No way. That's vehicle's not worth $110 times 4. So there's all those kinds of things. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. We'll go over it again. Maybe we'll start down here. We'll start with the yellow car. So like I say, these cars are either, well, there's some gray cars in here too, but red and yellow. Just watch for the red and yellow. And yeah, so that's some of the things that, again, will be coming down the pike on this channel. Fun little be fun little stuff to do. Over the winter it might be a little slow, but we'll see. 0 to 60, I like that one. There we go. Have yourselves a great day.